Hello, Bluecoats. It's Mr. Harris here, and I'm bringing you week 3 of the home science experiments. As you can probably see, I've got my goggles on, I've got my lab coat on again, just so I'm ready for this experiment. Much like you should get ready for this experiment, so check that any equipment that you're using, that your parents or carers that you're using that, make sure they're alongside with you. Remember, these are safe. You don't need many bits of equipment, but best to have someone there with you to support you with this. Okay, just before we start this week's experiment, we're going to recap on last week. Remember, as I've said to you before, it's really important to try and remember what you did previously, because that way it shows that you've learned. So, before we even started, I want you to have a go at filling in the gaps there. I'll read it out with the gaps and have a go at filling out the words from what we learned last time. So, is a process where a substance is mixed with a liquid and the liquid disappears. We call the substance a and the liquid the The mixture is called a So if you can remember without any of the words, that's fantastic. If you need a bit of a reminder, I'm going to reveal the words now. So the words to fill in those gaps, we've got dissolving, solution, solute, and solvent. So if you want to have a go at pausing the video, you can do so now. And I'll reveal the answers. So it's dissolving is a process where a substance is mixed with a liquid and the liquid disappears. We call the substance a solute and the liquid the solvent. The mixture is called a solution. And you've got another chance to do that now with the Skittles experiment that hopefully you carried out last week. The Skittles have in them coloured dye and sugar. The quickly in the warm water. Sorry, this quickly in the warm water. The sugar and dye were the water was the and the of sugar dye and water was the Few more for you to fill out there, so maybe a bit trickier. So pause the video there and try and fill them in with whoever you're carrying this out with. And we'll reveal the answers again. So we have the Skittles contain coloured dye and sugar. This dissolved quickly in the warm water. The sugar and the dye were the solvent, the water was the solute, and the mixture of sugar, dye, and water was solution. Right, we'll move on to today's experiment. So you will need some shaving foam. I've got shaving gel. I hope it works quite well. You need a large glass of water, some food colouring. I've got green, blue might be best, but to be honest, it's whatever colour you've got, just to show what's going on. And you might need a spoon as well, and a spare bowl. Right, we're going to be looking at a bit of science to do with the weather, which is interesting at the moment. There's been a few showers around. We'll talk about perhaps why that happens. So clouds in the sky are able to hold water. In fact, they can hold millions of liters. But there comes a point when the clouds cannot store any more water and they get too heavy with the water. The result is water falling out as precipitation. This can be rain, snow, sleet, or hail. So we call those 4 things precipitation. Anything that falls from the sky. Okay, and they're different forms of water, really. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now and share with you the experiment. So Hopefully you can see me now. I'm going to turn the screen round so that you can see my glass of water. Let's just try and get it a bit more in focus. Yes, okay, that's much better. Okay, so you can see here we've got our glass of water. I'm now going to give this quite a good shake, my shaving foam. See, because mine's a shaving gel, I'm worried it's not going to work so well. But if I put it into a bit of a gel foam, you won't need as much as this. I'm going to mix it around. Hopefully it will expand. If you've got a proper, it will probably just come out nice and thick and fluffy. Because what we're going to do after this, mine's expanding quite nice. You can see it in there. I'm going to spoon shaving foam on top of the water. Okay, I'm going to try and do this quite carefully. A bit like, if only. And it should just float on top. There's quite a lot of oxygen inside this, which will help it to float. Now, you might be able to see what I'm trying to create here is a sky. And the shaving foam is acting like a cloud. Water underneath is like the sky beneath the cloud. So it's like we've created an atmosphere in a glass. That's the name of this experiment, storm in a glass. Okay, I'm hoping I've used enough now. Now the next bit's quite important. You want to try and use the spoon to flatten the foam at the top so that it's nice and smooth on the top. Like I'm doing here. And then you need to cast aside shaving foam because that should be enough now. You can see here I've got the cloud part of my sky and then the sky that's more clear, the water. Oh dear, I've got shaving foam on my laptop. John, now just a chance to pause the video and make a very quick prediction. So what do you think will happen? Because my next step, I'm going to pour the water and the food dye from my bowl. You need to mix the food dye in some water. What will happen? So after adding water and food coloring to the shaving foam, I predict that. When I add water and food coloring to the shaving foam, could happen. And I predict that what will happen because. So have a quick discussion around that. I'll go back to my camera. Okay, now you should be able to see, children, what I've done is I've put some of my food coloring inside another bowl to create this green water. You should just be able to see it there. And what I'm going to slowly do is put in a spoon of water at a time into the cloud. I'm going to do this quite slowly. You can see at the moment there's no green water. Going to do this again. Now let's see how many spoons it takes until something happens. Starting to see some now. So you're starting to see green water come through the shaving foam. It doesn't come all through at once, kind of coming through in different ways. Remember the picture from one of the earlier slides, so the cloud. You can see a bit more coming through there. I'll keep doing a few more. Okay, and there you have it. We have created our storm in a glass. Let's talk about what's gone on there then. So children, as you can see, the shaving foam acts like a cloud and the water is the sky underneath. The shaving foam can store a certain amount of water mixed with the food dye, but when there is too much water in the shaving foam, it falls out like precipitation and much like rain, and that's what's just happened there. You could try some different experiments with that. You use more water and less shaving cream. What happens if you use less water and more shaving cream? Does one look more like drizzle and one more like rain? You can send any pictures into your year group emails prefixed with whatever your year group is. I hope you've enjoyed this week's science experiment. I'd love to see it being done at home, so please send those in if you do get around to doing it. Thank you. Bye.